Wake up. Wake up.
Downloading a new day.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
What happens when you get caught?
Caught doing what?
Talking to yourself. But not by me, because obviously I'm used to it. Like, you're like...
it's a little uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable sometimes, depending on who it is. If it's a stranger, then yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. But if it's somebody I know, it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm just thinking it out.
My son gets rage when he gets caught talking to himself. He's talking to himself, and then I'll be staring at him. Forget it. If it's his sister that's staring at him, he'll go after her. If it's us, he'll go after us. That is looking at him. When he gets caught talking to himself, he's like, "What?" And we're like, "What are you doing over there?" He's like, "Never mind," and then he leaves.
Yeah,
he gets mad.
It's probably the same if you're picking your nose and somebody catches you.
Yeah, that's bad.
Or you're adjusting, or itching somewhere, and somebody catches you.
Your fly is down.
But I mean, I don't think talking to you, I don't think it's that bad, but obviously for him it is. He'll get over it. I mean, I'm sure I had to get over it as well.
Would you rather go through life with your fly down for the rest of your life, or every thought that you have in your mind has to be vocalized?
Oh, God, fly down. Fly down.
But then you'd be known as fly down guy around town.
Haven't you ever walked into a room and you're like, God, thank God they can't read my mind right now. Thank God they have no idea what's going through my mind
Well, you'd have to
and sometimes it's good or bad.
You'd have to rein in your thoughts.
Yeah, you can't. I can't control this. I can't stop what's happening up there. It just happens.
I was driving by the drive-in yesterday, and I saw that the movies that are playing right now are, because there's no new movies, so it's Madagascar for the kiddos. And then the second feature is a movie that's over 20 years old. But it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Liar, Liar. With Jim Carrey. He can't tell a lie.
He can't tell a lie. Yeah, that's right. He can't tell a lie.
Oh, God. This is one of the funniest movies ever. Every thought he has to be the truth.
I forgot about Liar, Liar.
How can you forget about that movie?
Well, I mean,
I think that's the best.
I remember it now that you bring it up, but I mean, yeah, that's a good one. I like Cable Guy, but yeah, that is a really good one. I think
Liar, Liar is the best Jim Carrey movie ever.
Yeah.
Because he plays a regular guy. He's not this over-the-top character. He's just a regular dad lawyer.
Is that the one where God's in it?
No, that's Bruce Almighty.
Oh, okay. All right. That's right.
Oh, you got to go see Liar, Liar.
I've seen it a long time ago. I've seen it one time.
But you've got to see... Only once, Liar, Liar?
I could sit at home and watch it. It's probably on demand anywhere.
Absolutely. I'm not saying you have to go to the theater, wait for Madagascar to be over, then watch it at like 10 o'clock at night.
By the way, almost 90% of people say they talk to themselves out loud in our SurfNet Communications poll question. SurfNet, over 15 years of experience getting you connected with speeds faster than DSL or satellite. SurfNet Communications, the leader in rural broadband internet.
Look for Jeremy. He's going to be the guy walking
89% of people are saying, yes, I talk to myself and I talk out loud.
He's the guy walking around town with his fly down because he'd rather talk to himself.
No one said they don't talk to themselves. No one. Not one person.
I mean, I think I do it in my head. But out loud?
Yeah, we got
89% out loud.
11% of people are saying that they talk to themselves.
89% out loud. That is insanity.
That happens.
You gotta talk to yourself? People don't think you're weird?
This guy's an idiot. What? It just happened. That
was very funny.
All right. The Doors coming up.
You landed that joke.
Why the Doors are coming up?
Good job.
Jose Gutierrez.
Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, let's go. Raider Nation, are you ready for some football? You ain't ready for no football. You ain't ready for the Oakland Raiders. It's the invasion of the Oakland Raiders.
Drew Brees.
Are you ready for some football?
Can I just love the Raiders because of this song from Ice Cube?
Here we come, baby. Just win, baby. Feel the storm of the cold.
Just win, baby.
It's the Oakland Raiders. Get your mouth.
Raider's a pirate, right? A raider is a pirate.
I believe so. It looks like that's what's on the.
Although,
They steal.
if there's any kind
That's
of
what pirates do.
if there's any kind of pirate that could like make it into the desert, a raider would do it. You know, like a raider is like, I can see a raider being like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. You know, making it into the desert, apocalyptic time. The raider is the pirate of the land as well.
Winning by 10 last night. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I didn't watch the game. I was watching more Yellowstone because I'm hooked. But I was watching the updates on the phone. I was like,
D-dubs.
damn. Can New Orleans come back?
D-Dubs catching balls left and right, all over the place because David Carr is a check down specialist. Go out and get a bunch of good young wide receivers. And who does he throw to all night long? D-Dubs.
We got to get Jose on the line here. He's a Raider fan, and he's also our Week 2 winner in the Red Zone Challenge, brought to you by our friends at Donahue Truck Centers and Fred Bruin Realtor.
Real estate in real time.
Jose.
Hello?
Hello.
Jose.
It's Jeff and Jeremy from KZOZ.
What kind of Bluetooth do you have?
Hey, what's going? No, I'm at work. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. it's
No,
fine.
don't be sorry. You're working. What kind of work you do there? It's very noisy.
From the machine shop.
From the what? Oh,
Machine shop?
Machine shop. Oh, okay. You're a machinist.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, hey, by the way, I don't know if you know, but you won Week 2 of the Red Zone Challenge. Congratulations.
Awesome.
So here's how it works.
Cool.
You're going to get to listen to the Doors' L.A. Woman. And we're going to play that one this morning. And then Seth's going to play a Doors song for you at 12:20. And then Sheba's in for Suzanne, who's going to play a song for you at 5:20. I don't know what's going on at 7:20, but at 7:20 there's going to be another song, and your name will be mentioned at 7:20. You're what we call our MVP winner of the week.
Doors on the 20s. Once a
Nice.
shift.
All right? And you also got a $25 gift card to go to Pappy McGregor's. You like that place?
Oh, yeah.
It's all right, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And
You got to
That's
say thank you.
awesome.
You got to say thank you to Fred Bruin on that one. He went over and he got the gift certificates for people that win this contest on a weekly basis, and you actually beat him as you were both leaders going into last night. I believe he had the New Orleans Saints and your favorite team, the Raiders.
yeah, it's a good thing you're a Raiders fan.
Go Raiders.
The Raiders.
Go Raiders.
Looking good last night, my friend. And you're looking good in the Red Zone Challenge up to this point.
That was a good game last night.
That was a good game.
What are you doing at the machine shop right now, Jose?
We do all kinds of different things here.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? What did we interrupt you doing?
Oh, I was setting up a machine, actually.
All right. It's good to me.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, can you guys hear me right or good or no?
Yeah.
I hear you just fine.
Yeah. I hear you great,
okay,
man.
Cool.
I hear you great. I hear you great, buddy. All right, well, congratulations. You're one step closer
Thank
to
you
winning
again.
$500 in cash on a trip to Hawaii. We'll let you go, all right?
All right, thank you.
Oh, wait, do we
Thank
need... All right.
No, be on the lookout for that gift certificate coming to you.
Jose Gutierrez, Raider Nation. All right, 8:36.
You ever
For
listen?
Mr. Jose Gutierrez, all week this week, we'll be listening to The Doors 4 times a day.
You ever listen to the Doors and think, like, if they would have came along in the 90s at about the same time as the alternative rock movement, the grunge era, that they would have crushed Nirvana and Pearl Jam? That Nirvana and Pearl Jam may have just been an afterthought if the Doors would have came along around the same time. But they came
Never
out-
thought that.
They came along
But I understand what you're saying.
30 years before.
They could have fit in very nicely.
Oh, my gosh. Just a band that was way before their
But
time.
I'm really glad that they didn't crush, and
Right,
I'm glad
no.
we have a Pearl Jam and a Nirvana.
I'm of the same understanding as that as well. But I'm just thinking that they were so before their time that, I mean, I don't think they were widely appreciated because most of the music that came out in the late 60s, early
Yeah.
70s was this, like the Byrds and, and everything else. It's like, kind of more poppy, and then the Doors just came along and turned it on its ear, Even the Stones were more poppy in the late 60s. They were trying to mimic the Beatles' success. The Doors came along. They're like, yeah, we're from Los Angeles. Here we go. And then just drink, smoke,
But it was great.
make noise, have great live music.
What show did they get kicked off of? Do you remember? It was,
Well, there's a
number of shows,
There was a
right?
lot. There was a lot of
But I mean,
shows
there was,
that
I can't
Jim
remember.
Morrison was the subject of
Yeah.
arrest.
I wasn't alive, and I'm sure people could text in the name of the show.
There was
Not that
one
it
in
probably-
Florida that was a famous one that was documented in the movie.
It was a very famous TV show that he was kicked off of because he
Ed
said
Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan,
Yeah.
yes, Ed Sullivan, because he said would take you so high.
They wanted him to say, girl, we couldn't, in Light My Fire, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Ed Sullivan came into him, remember, from the movie, and he said, oh, don't you think it would just be so much better if you cleaned it up a bit and said, girl, we couldn't get much better. And Jim Morrison said, yeah, sure. And then went out there.
You know, I've never seen the entire movie all the way through.
What?
And I tried to watch it with you a number of times
That's
in college.
one of the best movies ever made.
And the problem was we'd always start watching it after we'd come back from the bars and we'd been drinking, and then I would just fall asleep.
Mr. I only watch TV shows. I don't like movies. You should watch that movie because that's when movies were done.
Oh, I do
really
like
well.
movies. I'm not saying I don't like movies. I'm not real big into movies that are coming out right now.
And Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember that.
It's amazing.
I got to watch The Doors, and that's got to be easy to grab and find. By the way, we're asking you what TV shows you're watching right now on our Facebook page. We got a lot of them over there. If you're looking for something to watch because you feel like you're tapped out, the reason I asked the question, and by the way, the page is on Facebook, Jeff and Jeremy. Just search it out that way if you're not already friends with us. The reason I asked is because I feel like I've watched everything, but I realize there's a lot of stuff on there that I haven't watched. But it's funny you bring up Kurt Cobain and The Doors and Nirvana. And I was watching, this is what I've resulted to now because I thought I'd watched everything, is these shows on Facebook. And I think they're sharing it through Facebook and you can stream it through your TV, but it's called Hot Ones. Mm-hmm. Do you know about it? Mm-hmm. It's a great show. So what it is, now I've only seen 2 episodes, and I saw one with Gordon Ramsay
Okay.
and Weird Al. And now they're not together.
Quite the pairing.
And what the show is all about is they sit down with a guy and this guy interviews him as they eat hot wings. Now, the hot wings, each wing is made with a hotter sauce all the way. And I'm not sure if there's 8 or 10 or how many sauces are in front of them, but there's somewhere around 7 to 10 sauces in front of them and 7 to 10 wings. And each wing keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter as they do the interview. And the guy that's hosting is eating right along with him. The Gordon Ramsay one was absolutely hysterical. Because it gets to the point where it's like ridiculous. Like you've had hot sauce that's ridiculous, right? I've had a couple of hot sauces that
Try to stay away from it.
they just kill you.
Try to stay away from it.
And he's talking to Weird Al, and they're talking about, what was the bigger deal, meeting Paul McCartney or going, talking to having Kurt Cobain, saying that I think Kurt Cobain said something along the lines about Weird Al, that it was a true flattering thing when, when somebody came and, what do you call that, when they cover their song? It's not really a cover, but redo it. And
Spoof?
He said, well, how did it go with Kurt Cobain? And I wanted to ask him this when we had a chance to talk to him, 10 years ago. And Weird Al had something up his ass that day, and he just didn't want to talk to us that way. If you remember that interview, it was the worst interview we've ever done.
He's very, yeah.
I think he's very cautious to morning radio guys because I think a lot of morning radio guys are idiots.
Oh!
But anyways,
Oh.
And he said he went up to Kurt Cobain, and Kurt Cobain said, what do you want to do, turn my song into something about food? Because he did the I'm Fat song. Mm-hmm. He says, no, I want to do a song about how it's impossible to understand what you're saying when you sing. And Kurt Cobain loved that.
Yeah,
and
he laughed.
He laughed. He goes, okay, yeah.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, go do it. Do it. It's a good show. It's called Hot Ones. You can probably Google this damn thing. I think it's been on for quite a few seasons. I think it's kind of one of those cult things that a lot of people might know what it is, but not everybody does. But it just made me think of that as you bring up The Doors, Nirvana. And I was just watching it yesterday because I'm finding that there's not a whole lot on to watch. And so now I'm started watching Facebook shows.
Facebook shows?
I guess. I mean,
What's
Hot
that?
Ones is on Facebook, and I just stream it through Facebook up to my
I'll
TV.
watch The Doors.
But maybe it's on Netflix or something. I don't know.
Oliver Stone said he's not making movies anymore because he has to worry about offending people. So go watch an Oliver Stone movie in The Doors. It's good.
Anyways, if you're looking for something, there's a great list, like over 100 on our Facebook page at Jeff and Jeremy, of shows that people are watching. So Ellen went back on yesterday. I don't know. Did you watch it?
No.
She's back. I think she's back in her studio. I didn't watch it, but I did see some. I did get some audio sent to me this morning of her addressing the issue. You know what I mean by the issue, right?
The issue? Talking about being
hostile work environments. After the break, her summer break, it says here she returned to the talk show yesterday and addressed allegations of here it is.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show, and then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show. We have had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks about the show, our workplace, and what we want for the future. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like she said all the right stuff, right?
Yeah.
She's privileged. She understands that. She's naive to it, whatever. But remember the British reporter that went in with his producer, and the producer was talking about how he wasn't allowed to even look at Ellen. The only one that even could look and ask her anything or talk to her was the actual reporter that was doing the interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes people, like I told you, I mean, Ellen's older than she portrays herself.
I'm not, listen, I don't want this to come across.
If I'm old and I got a complex about being old, I don't want people staring at me and gawking at me.
Okay,
you know?
Well, I'm not coming across from a place where I believe that she did anything wrong. I don't know because I wasn't there. I know that the people on her staff must have done something wrong. They were fired for it. Even if they didn't do something wrong, she felt the need that it was great enough of a concern that she had to have, somebody had to fall on the sword, and apparently 3 of her producers did.
Yes.
3 people that have been with her for a very long time. But she does talk a little bit about herself more personally here.
There were also articles in the press and on social media that said that I am not who I appear to be on TV because I became known as the Be Kind lady. The truth is, I am that person that you see on TV. I am also a lot of other things. Sometimes I get sad, I get mad, I get anxious, I get frustrated, I get impatient, and I am working on all of that. I am a work in progress.
God, she always says the right thing.
Well, she had 6 weeks to construct a comment.
In this world where we know that our politicians don't write most of their speeches, especially, it seems like the presidents, they have speech writers and so on. Does she have a speech writer? Did somebody write that for her? Or is that genuine?
Only she would know, I would believe.
I like her. I like her show, but I don't know her. I don't know her personally. I know her through TV. And she seems like she's a good, genuine person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, what she talks about is kind of what I've been saying to her defense for the last 2 months, and that is, there's going to be time. I mean, how many hundreds of people come through the Ellen DeGeneres show, and there's going to be a time when a reporter's there and she's having an off day and he's gawking at her, and she doesn't like the way he's gawking at her. She's like, okay, hey, get that guy to stop staring at me or something. Who knows? We don't know the full context of the situation.
I wish I was like that. I wish I had enough people working around me where I could just go, hey, Tim, tell that weirdo over there to quit looking at me.
Remember there was an intern that we had like a scaring challenge once?
A what?
A scaring challenge where it was like Halloween and we were videotaping people, each other scaring each other. We got a point for
scare tactics.
Yeah. And we got a point for each person that we scared, and it had to be a legitimate scare, and the video was on there, and it was a legitimate scare. We got a point, and whoever had the most points at the end of the month ended up winning.
What was his name?
Giblet. You walked up to Giblet, stuck an air horn in his ear canal.
No, I did not.
Okay?
That is a lie. That is a lie. He was in a room. I opened the door and I blew it in the room. It was not in his ear canal.
It was a soundproof.
It was a studio. He was in the studio. He was facing away from me. I snuck in there. I blew the air horn.
A third the size of this little shoebox that we sit in right now.
That's about the same size.
And I remember you blew that air horn. And I was thinking, man, that was the biggest jerk thing anybody could have ever done to anybody in the world. And it was a bad decision. But did I cast judgment towards you?
It was
for
the
rest
game,
of
man.
My life? Now, say you came as big as
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Giblet has lost all contact with this with this radio program, which
Do you remember
he has.
Do you remember when I was videotaping him? The look on his face when he turned around.
Yeah, I
it
thought
wasn't
he was gonna
scared.
deck you.
It was pissed off.
Yeah, I thought he was going to deck you.
Should have I apologized for that?
What if right now Giblet is trying to get a job with the Carolina Panthers to infiltrate you from the inside because he forgot what your name is and he just won't remember what you look like? Infiltrates you from the inside and takes down Matt Rule.
That I'm gonna call and thank Matt Rule's family for having somebody who looks like me to take the fall.
Which, what I'm saying is, there are things that we do in our past that we're not proud of. Should we all be held to that standard as we are that person for the rest of our lives? No. And everybody has an off day, so cut Ellen some slack.
Well, this is apparently an off decade because the show's been around for over a decade and this has been going on for quite some time.
Four reports of her being mean or of staff members being mean.
Yeah, maybe more than that.
Okay, maybe more than that.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It's just, you sign up for a show in show business, you know that it's going to be a very
It's interesting. I really
stressful.
I thought you were going to have a different approach on this. I thought you were going to say, yeah, this is what she's doing. It's her spin because it's a PR move.
Yes, it is. But that show's been on for how long? 15 seasons? 18 seasons? I don't know how long it's been on. 20 seasons? It's been on for a long time. And you're going to have some off days when you're doing a show.
Is she bigger than Oprah
that good?
now? I think she is.
The thing is, I think this is an inside job from Oprah. You know, she kind of kicks around the set sometimes. She's like,
Wouldn't that be great if we found out this whole thing was a scam coming from Oprah because Oprah was jealous that Ellen became a bigger deal than she was?
I'll give you a lifetime supply of Weight Watchers if you take Ellen down from the inside.
I listen to rock and roll music once,
93.3 KZOZ.
but I stopped before I started worshiping the devil.